They pushed a 6-year-old off a swing. His grandfather, a man of shadows and secrets, stood up. No shouts, no threats, just one move. Both fake HOA enforcers were eating sand in seconds. What he said next stopped even the cops cold. But let's start at the beginning. Maplewood was the kind of town where front doors stayed unlocked, and kids ran lemonade stands without a permit. Sundays were for pancakes, porch swings, and the gentle hum of a world at ease. It was just past 10 a.m. when I took my grandson, Tommy, to Riverside Park. At 6, Tommy gripped a toy helicopter and a juice box, both forgotten as he raced to the swings. His legs pumped, laughter bursting out like a fountain, pure and wild. On a bench nearby sat his great-grandfather, Walter Hayes, 81, or so he said. Time didn't seem to touch him. Walter was quiet, his eyes sharp like a predator pretending to nap. He fed pigeons, carved wood into odd shapes, and read espionage novels with a smirk, as if they missed the mark. Family whispers spoke of a past in black ops, covert missions in the 70s, jungle escapes, and interrogations without a blade. They said he was erased from records after defying an order, something about a village that wasn't supposed to be there. Walter never confirmed it, but his movements betrayed a coiled precision. That morning, the air smelled of fresh grass. Tommy shouted, "Higher!" Walter's lips twitched in a rare smile. I thought about snapping a photo, one to frame when life got loud again. I never got the chance. A black truck, too polished, no plates, rolled silently into the park. Two men stepped out, late 20s, cheap sunglasses, tactical vests flashing. HOA compliance unit. One held a clipboard, the other wore tight black gloves, pointless in the heat. They scanned the playground like wolves, then zeroed in on Tommy. "Swings are restricted," one barked. "HOA Ordinance 14B violation." The words landed like gibberish. This was a public park, always had been. No HOA ruled here. Tommy slowed, sneakers dragging in the mulch, confused. "What's he mean, Grandpa?" Before I could speak, the taller man strode forward and shoved the swing. Tommy flew, hitting the ground with a sickening thud, his elbows scraping raw, his helicopter snapping in half. His scream pierced the air. I ran, heart pounding. Parents froze, then surged forward. A mother grabbed her toddler and retreated. I dropped beside Tommy, his face twisted in pain, blood welling on his arm. Then I heard the bench creak. Walter was standing, slow, deliberate, no cane. His eyes were ice. The men laughed, the shorter one pulling out a phone to record. "Kids gotta learn rules," the tall one sneered. Walter moved forward, stepped silent, a predator's gait. "You're not cops," he said, voice low. The tall one turned. "Back off, old man." "HOA business." "You're not HOA either," Walter replied. The air grew heavy, a storm about to break. The tall one stepped closer. "Wanna make this hard, Grandpa?" Walter removed his cap, folded it neatly, and smiled, a signal that something had snapped inside him. Tommy's pain had woken a sleeping giant. Walter Hayes wasn't like most men. He didn't fight with rage or noise. He fought like a machine, precise, inevitable. The men had no clue what they'd unleashed. Tommy whimpered behind me, clinging to my sleeve. My instincts screamed to act, but something stronger said to stay back. Walter was already moving, not charging, but walking with a purpose that raised hairs. The tall one scoffed, tapping his belt like it meant power. But his bravado peeled away as Walter closed in, steps balanced, right foot angled for torque. "You're holding that wrong," Walter said, nodding at the man's belt. "Thumbs off. Not law enforcement, are you?" The man's pupils flared, a flicker of fear. Walter struck. His palm hit the man's sternum like a decree, his other hand twisting the wrist, pulling him off balance. The man lifted, spun midair, and crashed face first into the sandbox, sunglasses shattering. 6 seconds. The second man reached for his pocket, but Walter was inside his guard, pivoting, twisting the arm, sweeping the legs. The man's shoulder popped as he hit the ground. Silence. A gasp. A juice box fell. Walter knelt beside Tommy, pulling a faded handkerchief to dab his scrapes with a tenderness that belied the chaos he'd wrought. "You okay, champ?" he asked. Tommy nodded, trembling. "That's my boy." A crowd gathered, phones out, jaws dropped. "Call real police," Walter said, voice commanding obedience. "Don't touch them. They're not done lying." The shorter man groaned, trying to rise, but collapsed when Walter advised. "Your wrist's not where it was." Sirens wailed in the distance. I exhaled, cradling Tommy. Walter squeezed my shoulder, steady as stone. "Stay with him. Don't let fear stick." Police arrived, cautious. Walter nodded toward the sandbox. 2 imposters assaulted a child. The IDs were fake, laminated junk. The men were part of a scam targeting seniors with false HOA fines. The video, uploaded by a bystander, hit 1.8 million views by Monday. News vans swarmed Maplewood. Walter ignored them, flipping his old phone shut. A grainy photo surfaced online, Walter, younger, beside an unmarked helicopter, jungle behind him. Caption: WH299B, Laos 1979, XFIL successful. Reddit exploded. Was he CIA? Special Forces? The mystery fueled the fire. The scammers, Kyle Brandt and Derek Voss, were cogs in a predatory network, extorting families with fake violations, forging liens, and stealing homes. A task force uncovered 16 cases, some victims elderly, one a widow who lost everything. Walter read the reports in silence, his jaw tight. Kyle cracked in interrogation, admitting they targeted homes with toys, knowing families wouldn't fight back. "Nobody was supposed to resist," he whined. Walter, hearing this, taught Tommy to listen for trouble in the wind, to swing with eyes open. The HOA board sent a lawyer, Ethan Crane, with a polished suit and no apology. Tommy, dirt-streaked, called him out. "You didn't say sorry." Walter backed him, dismantling Crane's excuses. "Your system lets 2 thugs walk in. Fix it." Crane left, tail tucked. Days later, a memo proposed real reforms: ID verification, body cams, and audits. The mayor, Laura Hensley, passed a law requiring oversight, crediting Walter. He shrugged it off. "Thank Tommy. He's the one who got hurt." Walter's past unraveled slowly. In 1983, he defied orders to kill a teacher's family, saving them through a jungle escape. Blacklisted, he vanished from records, settling in Maplewood to raise his daughter. His training never faded. A DoD letter arrived, quietly acknowledging his ethical deviation. Walter pocketed it unmoved. Tommy, for a school project, called him a hero. Walter said, "I just stopped trouble once and never forgot it." The park got a new sign. "Riverside Park is public. Unauthorized enforcement is prohibited." Inspired by a child, his grandfather, and courage, Tommy reclaimed the slide, laughing again. Walter fed pigeons, same bench, same calm. He changed nothing, he said, just reminded people what's worth defending. But was Walter right to act so swiftly? Did his past justify his force? Should kids like Tommy have to learn vigilance so young? Share your thoughts below. What would you do if someone pushed your loved one? Let's debate. When does protection cross into vengeance? Hit subscribe and join the conversation.